Pablo Torre has played this brilliantly because he's in the modern media world where he's trying to get clicks, he's trying to get people to download, he's trying to drag this story out. And he had the bombshell Kawhi Leonard aspiration, payments for doing nothing news story about a week ago. Now he's got another smoking gun that apparently aspiration was late on paying Kawhi around $2 million, $1.75 million, and then all of a sudden a minority owner from the Clippers dumped $2 million into aspiration, and sure enough, Kawhi got paid. And this one is way more obvious, in my opinion, than the original one, that Kawhi was waiting for a payment. He was getting bothered. Uncle Dennis was saying, what the hell's going on here?
Imagine getting bothered, though. That's just the incredible element here. This is all for doing nothing. And you're furious that the payment's a little bit late.
Well, here's to add to it. To add to it. Let me add to this quickly before you finish your thought. Okay. Hoops on Twitter, okay, a basketball Twitter account, tweeted out earlier today. In 2022, Kawhi Leonard played in just 26% of games due to, quote, right knee stiffness before the reported $1.75 million delayed payment was made. The day after it was reportedly deposited, Leonard went on to play in 82% of the games the rest of the way. So now people are thinking this guy was basically saying, allegedly, I'm not playing. Like, you owe me $2 million. My knee's acting up. Oh, there's the $2 million. All right, I'm ready. Let's play. If that's true.
With $300 probably already in the bank.
With so much money already
There's no integrity in that, if that's true.
If it's true, and again, it could be a coincidence. Kawhi's not going to say anything. Kawhi's not going to go on the defensive here. He's not going to do the rounds and sit down with NBC or ESPN or Jim Gray or something. But that's a pretty significant coincidence. And I think ultimately what this leads me to believe is that the Raptors, it's a miracle they got what they got out of him, and they're so lucky that he just left town.
They dodged
a massive bullet with Kawhi.
Yeah, exactly.
They got a championship because of him. He was phenomenal. He needed them, right? Put him in a platform where he could play and play well and make sure the Clippers were going to do anything to get him.
Yep.
Raptors supplied him that opportunity. He pulled his weight. He was unbelievable that year. There's no taking anything away from Kawhi Leonard in 2018, 2019. But everything since then has been an absolute disaster for his career, his legacy, outside of his bank account.
Yeah. Was there any time where he played well for the Clippers and really brought,
there's
been
spurts,
spotty
pockets, right? But
it's been spotty.
Yeah. Like Ballmer must be so disappointed in that. He dumped a bunch of money and, got the player.
Well, no kidding, Jamie. If you're winning championships and it's like Steph Curry, you're like, you know what? Get this guy his money. Like, drive to his house and get him the money.
Exactly.
But when he's performing like that and the team is just in the gutter, you're like, really, man? You got to complain and act like this for the money? Get serious.
Well, and they've re-upped him since all this kind of stuff. That's how desperate they've been. That's how desperate they've been to get a healthy Kawhi. And when he plays, he can still be a great player.
Yeah.
But, that would infuriate you if you felt like he wasn't playing or wasn't giving you everything until he got every last dollar. Then he's going.
That's sad.
That is. If that, again, maybe it's a coincidence. It very well could be. But if it's not, that's a bad look, man. How do you, what about your teammates?
Right.
Wouldn't they look at that and know that and be like, are you playing? Are you not playing? Like, you make way more than me. You make way more than anybody else. And just never seems to bring it in LA. But with every news story that comes out, I just look back and say it's a miracle they got what they got out of him in Toronto.
Yeah.
And it was great, and it could only be a year, and that's all it was. It's never going to be more.
You take the year and you move on. You got your championship, and it is what it is. Like I say, if you were ended up stuck with this guy and he was pulling that nonsense up here, people would run him out of town. I think the biggest thing is integrity.
Maybe it's the only way you get the best out of that guy. If you just stick him up in Toronto for a year and there's no room for saying, give me the money or negotiations, and it's like you just got to play basketball and give him the ball when you got to score points, and You might get a championship out of it, and it worked out perfectly.
It worked out perfectly.
They should have just watched as soon as they saw what was going on in the negotiations, they should have just said, that's enough, thanks, anyway.
Right.
Wow,
which effectively is what
guy wants a
happening.
Chunk of the Leafs?
Yeah.
As soon as he said those words, a chunk of the Leafs, it's just like, just go back on
why
the
stop
bird.
there? Like, how about the CN Tower?
Yeah.
You know, I want some of the CN Tower.
Yeah.
I'd like that. And Casa Loma, I like that place.
Steam Whistle Brewery.
I'll take
that.
Steam
That's
Whistle.
nice
Take a piece of Steam Whistle.
Yeah, just a piece.
Right.
But I think, though, when you win a championship, this is the part that is kind of sad. It's like, don't you want to chase that with the group that you just won with? Like, don't you think it's like infectious and go, geez, we got the same team. We can go back at this. Like, let's make this work. He was the other way. It's like, yeah, championship. See you later.
Got it.
No, he'd won.
They maybe could have picked one more off too.
Right.
Like,
For sure, they could have.
They could have.
If he was healthy and committed. Now, COVID messed up everything. Like, it was in a bubble. It was a totally different experience. But they were still really good. The next year without him, they were still second in the East. They had the second or third best record in the NBA when COVID hit in March of 2020. That's how good they were. So they absolutely could have, but this would just suggest to me it was a perfect storm. It worked out beautifully for the Raptors. Be thankful it happened, and just see you later. Clippers can deal with it.